Hello and welcome to Thursday's episode of the Terrace Scottish Football Podcast. I am your host for this occasion, Mr. Craig Fowler, and I am joined in his lovely ball green fat by Tony Anderson.
Hello.
I called it a fat there, not a flat.
It's because you would make him talk about me.
Your words, not mine. And Amy Canavan.
Hello, hello.
Hello.
Hiya.
Hello, everyone.
Yes.
It's a bit creepy, eh?
We've been through this.
I don't like to say that the cameras are watching us now because we've done it before the entire episode. We kept making jokes about the cameras and it none of them worked. So it was pointless in the end.
Yeah, still a good fat.
Whose
Good
fault
laugh,
was
though.
that? Whose fault was that?
Mine, definitely
That's
mine.
all that we needed.
It was
That's
all,
we
it
needed.
was growing pains. It's going to happen. I'd still to figure out how to work everything. And
We're getting there.
Still am.
We're getting there. The wee Splice videos, the one you done for Dave for the Michael McIndoe, I fair enjoyed that. I thought it was really good. Well
Dave.
done. Yeah, Dave.
Dave.
That's incredible.
It's amazing.
I actually
really
went through the video and counted how many times he
But
says
I
it. He says it
quite
12
liked
times.
I think it's quite nice. Like, I know when like my mum and dad are listening to my post-match interviews and whatever, and they go, my mum in particular, she likes a manager depending on how much they use my name because it's personable.
I totally agree, but I think when he does it that many times, it makes me
It's a
feel
bit
like
unnerving.
it makes me feel like he's read a book saying it is personable to do that, and he's doing that deliberately for that reason.
It's like one of those books you get where it's basically like, I mean, there's so many different titles, but basically books that are how to manipulate people.
Yeah, how to make friends and influence people with Michael McIndoe.
Still really just hope his name's like Donald or something.
Yeah.
I like that. Actually, I prefer to be called David. Right, on tonight's show, we have got basically, because it's an international week, and as people will know, the Scotland game is taking place tonight. We are obviously not covering that. It's not even started yet. Myself and Ewan will be talking about that tomorrow, as in Friday, and we'll be doing that as a Patreon. So if you'd like to listen to that, that's patreon.com/Terrace Podcast. So for this one, I thought we'd do something a bit fun.
Do you think you're going to get Patreon subscribers coming on to listen to you talk about a game that doesn't matter?
Will you even watch it?
Tony, Tony, you would be surprised
It
the
won't bring-
Patreon subscribers we get off the back of some stuff.
Right, thank you.
Well, you don't know because sometimes you put out a podcast and you're like, yeah, like subscribe to this, and then somebody subscribes not long after, and you put two and two together. But it could just be somebody listening to a main show from weeks ago, going,
Yeah.
"Oh, I've only got into this. I didn't know they did that." You just kind of, it's a causation correlation thing.
Just
Doesn't
bring in the
always
money,
matter.
thank you.
To pay for stuff like this.
Yes.
Look at this. Look at this fine
Expensive
piece of
gear.
equipment.
Expensive gear.
So yeah, we're basically going to look at the Scottish Premiership so far this season and hand out some individual awards to players. Or we're going to debate who would be deserved of these awards. Now, none of them are actual awards. And also, I forgot to say to Amy, because Amy hadn't arrived by the time I discussed this with Tony, the worst signing awards, because I did do that, but then I thought that's a bit mean for November to say worst signing. So I've changed it now to the signing we should panic about the most. So it's basically the same thing.
Thanks for telling me this during the podcast. Well, I don't have my phone now to think about who it could be.
No, but it's the same thing.
It's the same thing,
Yeah,
you're
just
right.
that basically, because they could turn it round.
Who should be most worried about? The
Well,
fact
it's
in
probably just
November
the
they've done nothing.
It's probably just the same as worst signing.
why don't we
really.
just
But
start-
we'll just be nice about it, because
Why
it's a bit mean to be worst signing in November.
Why don't we just start there then?
Why don't we start with worst signing? Okay then. Oh, sorry, not worst signing,
Bloody
no!
hell. Bloody hell. Sorry,
No!
everyone. Sorry, everyone.
The
I'll
camera's
put some of
out.
that on, I'll be back Patreon with them.
The camera's add an extra layer of pressure. Can't handle it.
You've done about 100 episodes of television.
Aye, but
I mean,
this is more live because I don't want to do as much editing as they do on that show.
back when I was a child, we done stuff. Well, I say a child, it must have been about 26 or something. We used to film the ones in the Scotsman. The Scotsman one, when we used to do that. I mean, Amy, I don't know.
Yeah,
if you
those
have
were
that.
nerve wracking. They were going out live to the world.
Yeah, but at the time, just to get dragging me in from, and I'd done nothing by the time. And I said that Callum Patterson literally sold the jersey. Remember that? Remember falling down that trap? Things that we slag other broadcasters for all the time, just done it instantly.
2 jerseys for 50 quid. 2 for 50 quid.
So broadcasting's hard. Cameras make it difficult. So sorry everyone that I've ever slagged off for it. But anyway, worst.
So yeah, no, not worst signing again. You've done it as well.
Yeah, let's just call it worst.
Signing I'm most worried about. And
Si-
because I can name the category, I'm going to start slammers.
So
We all agree. Next.
I've got him for a different category.
I think I know which one. I think I know which one. Because I also wanted it in that one.
Yeah,
but
I was
thought,
like, that's...
it could be both.
My
It could
glasses
be
are
both.
completely stimming up here. It's very hot in this room. So I'm just going to go blind for this. That doesn't really help my notes at all. But yeah, so... Okay, so Amy, tell us about Sam Lammers.
There's nothing to tell other than that I'm not quite too sure why Rangers signed him. I think, in all honesty, I think this would have been a little bit more relevant pre-Philippe Clement. I think anything with Rangers is, though. I think even Sam Lammers has been able to improve under. I think Tony.
He possibly had his worst game.
His shots are getting a little bit closer to goal. They're not quite row Z. They're maybe row M.
Because he probably had his worst performance against Hearts.
Well,
that one at Ibrox.
Yeah, that's fair.
That was the one that really, really stood out to me. Because the thing that gets it is that like he's used as like the fulcrum of the team. Everything goes through him, and it's bizarre.
I don't know why your tactics would be like that when there are still decent players in the Rangers side.
Why is he being used as a number 10 when he's also barely ever played as a number 10 in his career?
Exactly. I was going to say that's the caveat. He's not he's not comfortable, and I think you can see that, and I think there has to be a little element of, I actually do kind of feel a little bit sorry for this guy, but at the same time he is a professional footballer, and if you're getting signed for Rangers after that one remarkable season, then get on with it.
Because the way he moves and the hair and stuff does make him look like a 10. Do you think it's really as simple as that? Is that
like a 10 out of 10?
Yeah, Michael Beale's like that.
It's Tony's words.
I could turn you into a 10 just because he looks like one.
The 10 reboot. Instead of Bo Derek, it's Sam Lammers.
Because like sometimes he's got the little drops of the shoulder. He picks up the ball and he can do things on the half turn. He always looks like he's just about to do something good.
Just.
Yeah,
and then it falls apart.
Yeah, then it really falls apart. The pass, he gives the ball away a lot.
Yeah,
like, a lot. And then
some of his touches are really nice, and some of them are horrific.
Yeah, so I can see where people think he's going to come from, but it's just like for a player like that to spend over $4 million on
a lot of money on what could be rather than what should be. And I think, like I say, a few weeks ago, I think you probably actually could have picked a few other Ranger signings. But I think some of them have I think Dessers is looking a little bit better. I still think Darila is actually
he's on a long list for this, by the way. He still deserves to be mentioned, Cyril Dessers.
I think he does. But I think that Slammers does more, and he's got a cracking name.
Sam Lammers. It was bad vibes from the start.
Exactly.
We mentioned it loads of times, but he does sound like a TalkSport presenter.
Oh, absolutely.
I've not got Sam Lammers just because I want to mention him in another one. I'd probably ruin it now. I was going to mention him in another category.
Don't bother. Do it yet.
Yeah, I'll mention it at the time. But we've talked about Lammers already, so yeah, he would probably be my shout. But I'm going to throw out somebody who... I mean, Rangers have been burned by the fact that Lammers isn't very good, but I'm going to go to another team that have been burned by their poor signings in the summer, and that's Aberdeen. Now, they've got a few to pick from. You could say Esther Sogler, who's only really had fleeting cameo appearances.
300k as well.
Yep.
Just a lot of money.
A lot of money. There was Ordadia, who has not even been seen at all.
Where are you?
Rhys Williams as well, I think, or is that the one at Celtic?
No. Rhys Williams is up there. He's
Aberdeen.
On loan from Liverpool.
Who was the Celtic centre-half who's barely been seen either? Who was also from...
Lagerbielke.
No, somebody from England. Nat Phillips.
He has been seen. We've had to bloody use him. Don't know if you know, but he had to get used in the Champions League, mate.
Right, okay. I don't watch Champions League as much as I just watch domestic stuff.
Nat Phillips has been used.
Right, okay, but so
he was never supposed to be used in the first place.
He's not been seen a lot, but anyway, my point is that Williams hasn't been seen at all.
No.
But I think they all pair in comparison to the fact that they allegedly spent £500,000 on Pape Guy?
I think it's Guy.
Pape Guy. He's been seen a couple of times, weirdly, despite the fact he was kind of signed to be like a target man option for Barry Robson's side. He's only ever been used in the wing, and anytime I've seen him, which is those fleeting appearances, but I looked at him on Y-Scout afterwards, he looks really bad.
So that
was the guy. I think it's Guy.
So is that the one that they done so I think Hibs maybe done the number on Aberdeen there, eventually, because Aberdeen always go for the players that Hibs are after.
How much did you ram the cost up?
Yeah, because Hibs it was in the papers that Hibs were trying to sign him like a matter of days before Aberdeen. It sounded like the deal was done, but then Hibs said they were never in any interest in him whatsoever.
Oh, well played, Lee Johnson.
Did that statement come out last week? Oh, by the way, we were never interested in that guy.
Oh, my God, he's crap. But it was right after the signing that all came out that Hibs claimed that they were never interested in him, and it didn't make sense at the time because Hibs had just spent $700,000 on Dylan Venti, so did seem bizarre that we were trying to sign another striker, even though with the fact that I assumed that when Aberdeen were signing those two, Sockler and him, that obviously they were punting Miovski. I thought that was obviously
Thank God they never.
Yeah,
Jesus, aye.
but that's what.
I mean,
Seriously, how bad could this have been?
There's another award and category we've got coming up, which we'll mention another Aberdeen forward, and without Miovski this season, they would be absolutely toiling.
Aye. So, and they're toiling anyway.
Well, yeah,
Exactly.
more than 10th.
Even though they'll say they're in a cup final and they drew with a good team going out.
I said on Monday's podcast, I was like, Tom, it seems like if this season got 1 step forwards with Barry Robson 2 steps back. He's like, no, it's 1 step forward, 1 step back. I'm like, you're fucking 9th.
But they've got games in hand, even though they got beat 6-0 in one of them there.
3 goals in extra time.
3 goals, so it doesn't matter. Doesn't count.
Okay.
There was only that much injury time because their defender absolutely maimed Kyogo. So
Clattered. But it's okay. It's just a yellow card.
So I wasn't, when I saw Hibs were linked to him, I went looking into him and I really wasn't sure about it at the time. And I was panicked because I knew it was going to be for cash. So thank God that Aberdeen took that bullet instead. They spend a lot of money, Aberdeen.
they do.
I know that's rude for me to say what I just said. We spent 700 grand on a striker. But you know what I mean? Aberdeen spend a lot.
He's probably spent about, Hibs probably spent 1.5 million on Venti and Johan this summer.
Yeah. But I think that'll come. We'll get that money back.
There's more chance of it coming good than what's going on at Aberdeen at this
Exactly.
point in time. But we're only calling them strikers to be signings to be panicked about because there is still a possibility that they'll come good. How many times have we seen players who signed to be really bad early in the season and eventually turn out to be alright?
Is Luke Jeffcott going to be alright? He's not.
Yeah, I've got him on my long list.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Because you said before we started you could basically name any single St Johnstone signing so far this
It was either Sam Lammers or the
Other
St.
than
Johnstone
Mitov.
Mitov, yeah.
Mitov, Sev Sprangler and Matt Smith look quite good.
Sven Sprangler is just a great name. I cannot have him on any bad list.
I'm thinking that Spangler's being topped up due to being surrounded by
I
shite.
think he is as well. I don't
I've
think...
heard his name come up a lot.
But that means that that's still enough for him not to belong with the rest of the signings. But well, a lot of them, Jeffcott is a forward with a lot of experience in the game. I think he's 27 or 28, so he's likely not going to be one of the cheaper signings. And I think he's on a multi-year deal as well. So he'd be the one that would most be panicked around.
That's why I had him.
I wanted him to be good as well. I'm sure I said he'd be good.
There's other guys like Costello and Turner Cook, but they're on loan. And the two defenders aren't very good either, McClelland and the guy for Liverpool, whose name I'm blanking on, Olafunwa. But they were kind of seen as projects, I think, anyway.
Great for a side like St Johnstone.
They started the season, so I don't know what McLean was up to, but they can hold on to hope that, we can train these guys up and they can eventually, none of them really have any experience of playing regular first team football. So again, they've got the potential to come good. Luke Jeffcott already seems like
a busted flip.
Well, he was not getting a game when Chris Kane or Nicky Clark weren't fit, and now that they're fit, he's really not going to get a game.
So, yeah, I think it's impossible not to put Lammers in because of the cost.
Yes,
I think he has to. And this not award, but we're going to give an award for a category that we changed the name with during the podcast. Sam Lammers.
Here's your trophy. Trying to think of anybody else to throw out. I'd say on my long list I had Tagawa at Hearts, who has been injured for a lot of it, but it didn't look very good before he got injured.
Now he's starting to, there's wee sound when
he's got a microsite on himself.
When they all start the wee shouts in the media, though, you know that doesn't sound good when everyone starts going to the media to slag each other off.
I had 5 Motherwell players.
Oh.
Can you name them? That midfielder, Dowski or whatever his name is, the Macedonian guy.
Yes.
Wilkinson.
Yes.
Papa Suari.
Yes.
You went Bear.
Yes.
I would be Bear more towards most improved.
Oh, well. Yeah.
Well, it was a very low bar, though.
Yeah,
it was a very low bar.
Bear's maybe the one that deserves to be on this the least.
Because when they play Bear, they do okay.
Yeah.
But it's one to get, and we panicked about this as soon as they were linked with them. Because we were like, why are you doing this? So many teams have been burned by this already. Why are you the next team to try it?
Aye, that was Theo Bear.
No, it was Ollie Shaw.
Oh, God.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God. How could we forget?
Shaw's.
How could we forget?
I said on another podcast, it's like Shaw's like reverse. He seems to get less experienced as he gets older. The way he plays, it's bizarre.
Just get into the championship, pal, and score some goals.
Because even when he came through at Hibs, I think I said this on another podcast with you. He was like really good movement. He would sniff out a chance, and he looked like maybe a bit beyond his years. And now that's the complete opposite.
I really
player.
rated Shaw when he was first to house because I was like, well, he's got the one thing that he can't really teach. He gets into good positions and he scores goals. The rest of his game will improve as he gets older.
And it's the complete opposite.
Yeah.
It is bizarre. It is.
I don't know if the rest of his game's got any better, but he's definitely got worse as a goal scorer.
Aye, it's bizarre. It is. It's absolutely bizarre.
It's a shame.
I also, for a left field shout, had Josh Reid of Ross County. Because remember, he was a county player before, came through the ranks, had a very good first half of the campaign. I think it would have been the lockout season, so 2021. Then he went to Coventry. And when they signed him back this summer, there was a lot of county fans thinking this was a great move to bring him back.
Well, considering the rest of their signings, some of the names were...
To pat him back, I was like, no sure about this, because you see this often where a young guy goes away, having shown just a bit of a flash, doesn't he play much, then comes back up the road and just isn't as good. And that, I mean, I don't want to say that with Reid already, but the fact that he didn't come on at all against St Johnstone, and they're playing Ben Purrington at left wing back, and then Harmon's coming on instead, and then they're chasing a goal late on, and it's like you can put in an attacking wing back there, and they didn't. It's not great.
Not great.
It's hard to read Malcolm McKay anyway. He also doesn't like using Kyle Turner.
Yeah,
Madness.
And like I said on Monday show, Jan Danda continually popping up in the fullback areas to get the ball. It's not great at County at the moment. Right, let's go to most improved player through the first 3 months. Yeah, 3 months of the campaign.
Has to be one of your boys.
I think, like, I asked my friends this earlier today because I could only really think of, like, one standout. And I thought, right, they're going to come out with other people because it's so very typical of me to say a Celtic player and to say this Celtic player. But my Rangers friend, he said that as well right away. And I think it has to be Matt O'Reilly. And I know he had a high bar. And I think that's why I
did have him on my long list.
And that's why I feel it's quite cheeky to perhaps say that he's the most improved. But I think, like, he's added goals to his games. Like, he's got 6 goals already this season. Only had 3 last season in the league, and he is in a completely different league this year. Like,
because he's the best player in the league now.
He is single-handedly the best player in the league, and I think he has really taken his game up a notch. Why you got that weird smile? What have I done?
It's because he's not got his glasses on.
I can't even see anymore.
It just looks weird.
Okay, Craig.
You're just a blur on the other side of the table now. I don't know what's going on.
Many people say.
I'm just trying really hard to listen to what you're saying because I can't read your lips anymore.
I mean, we're right here. Why don't I hard to hear what she's saying?
That's true. I learned that in primary school. That's when you take your glasses. If you need glasses, you take your glasses off, and your hearing is slightly affected because you can't read somebody's lips.
Does that make it better? Because that's what they say.
I thought your other senses were meant to be
that's a
better.
lot.
Is that a pish? Aye, like if you lose one sense.
Or just be like 29, just have good eyes, good ears.
Aye.
By everyone.
What's wrong with my ears? My ears are fine.
You just can't hear me.
Good body.
No, you can't. I guess more you can't understand people as well because like you have the fallback, and sometimes you'll do it subconsciously if you're having trouble deciphering what somebody's saying. You'll look at their lips, and I can see you. You're fine. You're very close. This is great for the people who aren't watching this on YouTube. By the way, they're just listening to us on audio. Say like
this is the way to get YouTube subscribers. Though. Do things.
I'm about 2 yards away from Tony, and Amy's about 6 yards away.
6 yards. 6 yards. I'm only a yard away.
I'm in the 6-yard box.
This is a yard's about that size.
No, it's not. A yard's 3 feet.
Nah.
A yard is 3 feet.
Okay, Tony's about a yard and a half away. You're about 4 yards away.
No, I'm not.
She's not 4 yards away.
I am 5 feet away. Look, I play long balls, and long balls you use yards.
All right, okay. Well, I bow to your superior knowledge.
Thank you very much. Right, moving on. Tony. Matt O'Reilly.
Sorry, right. I see where you're coming from because
Thank you.
The only thing is because the only thing that puts me off it is because I kind of half expected Matt O'Reilly to take a big, maybe not quite to this degree.
I know, the most is the bit like improved, yes, but most I know.
I thought he would kick on because, I mean, when we done the best midfielders last season, I think I done it with Joel or best attack midfielders because we cut up and everything and everyone goes mental. But we done with Matt O'Reilly and we had him so high, and that's what we were saying. Me and Joel, I think, were talking about how we expected him to take the game by a scruff of the neck more and play those like 1-2s and just go into the box and sort of just push people out the way because he had the physique, the skill and the shooting ability, and he's kind of got there. And that goal he scored at Tynecastle was just
oh my god,
like it's real high quality. I mean, just nobody else is going to do that.
No,
those ones over the shoulder, they're the hardest goals. They're the hardest ones to score.
I like Fowler's live cast, see the goals.
Yeah.
What was that?
Over the head.
It can't see
it can't see that.
Can't see your lips, so he doesn't
know what he said.
Yeah, their hearing's really being affected as well.
But I thought you might have said Liam Scales.
That was what I was going to say.
That was the second shout, and I actually, this is again, I use my friends here, and he said Scales, and I just sort of went, and that's what I said. I went,
He's went from being quite bad at Aberdeen to being Celtic's best centre half. Apart from Vickers.
He did end the season at Aberdeen very good.
He did, and that's what I went by, because there's
he was already on the trajectory.
Quite, and I worked with a guy who's a big Aberdeen fan, and he was very much wanting Liam Scales back, and I was
trying to charge over $1 million for him.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Okay, but now we can, and I was very much like, I have him, so I think it's probably a credit to him actually that I never thought of him, because that means you're doing a very good job at Celtic as a defender. If I'm like, you're not having to go, oh, he's made an arse of himself. So I think it is a very good shout. It's not the one that I have to admit, I didn't actually think of that one. But I think it is a good shout.
Tony, not a few players for your club? Two in particular, I would say?
There's two really obvious ones at Hibs, with Lewis Miller and Jair Tavares. I would probably
Is that how you pronounce it? How do you pronounce his first name?
Jair. Yeah, that's how they all... I don't do that. I don't pronounce anyone's names correctly. I mean, if anyone's been listening or watching this for the last
Creag.
yeah. I mean, I don't say anything correctly. I was going to call him Liam Scales.
Scally.
Liam Scally. But I think with Jair Tavares, what I love about him now is it looks like his ability to turn a man with a low centre of gravity. It's such a brilliant skill to have, because especially like when teams play Hibs, obviously we have a lot of the ball through design, because that's the way that the manager wants to play. And obviously when teams come to Easter Road, they do sit in. Because regardless, even when Hibs or Hearts or Aberdeen are shit, just because they're bigger clubs, I think teams do it to them because they know it'll work against them, and the clubs, their fans will demand them to be on the ball. So I don't think it's no matter if Hibs or Hearts are good or bad, I feel like they always have a lot of the ball because the other teams want it to be that way no matter what. And with Tavares, his ability to roll someone or let the ball run through him or do a little back heel in the last few weeks really opens the game up for Hibs. And his work rate's really good. Defensively, he stays switched on. He's not great defensively, but like Yuan, I think his work rate's good. I have this argument with people a lot. Yuan's not great defensively, but he certainly works back. He does work there. And I think Tavares is the same, and he will improve.
Just about you got in before we got accused of racism again in the YouTube comments.
Yeah. So the work rate is certainly not to question, but I'd still go for Lewis Miller, because I think Lewis Miller started to become like really, really, really good fullback.
Yeah.
Which is good. And he's more, under Montgomery, he's been much more switched on defensively. At first, when it started, he was being used by Montgomery, and he was like, he's so athletic, he can get up and down. That's all good. He does that weird chop inside sometimes, and that seems to work out well sometimes. And but it was always like he would switch off at the back post, and that was the thing that he was most worried about, that no matter what, because even as a player improves, see if they make basic errors, it's like they're not allowed to improve. People really centre in on the mistakes and don't think about all the other things that they do well.
It's negativity, Tony.
Yeah, it's just everyone does it. If someone makes mistakes, I mean, at Hearts, Toby Sibbick's like the prime example.
Yeah.
He gets better and you can see he's playing well, but when the brain farts come, it means that no one allows him to actually be fully improved, even though he has. So, but with Lewis Miller, I think he's a real handful for teams. He supports, he dribbles up the park, he's tackling really hard, he's getting pretty good in the air. He's just like a good all-rounder, if still not perfect. But in this league, he's exactly the type of fullback you want to have. So
yeah, I like him a lot.
I think he would definitely be up there.
Had we asked this a month ago, because he's kind of dropped off recently or just not been given as many opportunities, we would say maybe Christian Doidge as well.
Because he's actually scoring.
But
that injury, and now it's starting to get that feeling that maybe he's being edged out again.
Yeah,
by another manager. Nobody likes Big Doidge. He's handy. I don't know why you're going to have him around.
He was very good at the start of the season. He looked like Doidge, maybe not quite fully back, but kind of 90% there.
Yeah, and that's an absolutely brilliant player to have in Scottish football.
That's it. Like, he's just handy. Like, I don't know why you would get, like, see, like, the loan to Kelly, like, I get it, like, for him, but I was always just like, he is just the kind of guy you want around. I would think. I'd want him, man.
Because he's such a handful.
Aye.
He batters people. He runs about. He's good in the air. And like when he gets to his best, when he's actually a good goal scorer, he becomes like the ideal striker in Scottish football. Whether we like it or not, these battering ram types.
Absolutely.
Who's able to run on, like he run when he's at his best, he runs onto fullbacks and stuff and totally takes the piss out of them with the diagonals because he just batters them. I'm annoyed that I know he's been injured, so I don't want to make that comment yet, but if he is being edged out, it's like, he's got a contract at the end of the season anyway. Just let his contract run and just use him now. Like, he'd be perfect as a squad player.
Squeeze the juices out of him.
Yeah, because we're not going to be able to sell him in January. Nobody's going to pay money for 32-year-old Deutsch now with 6 months in his contract. So I just say, just use him. But we'll see.
One player.
Maybe he's a 16-year-old striker instead.
I think we should mention before we move on, and we should go back to the northeast for this one. Well, there's maybe one. It's probably a couple of some we should mention, but anyway, we'll go back to Aberdeen and Dante Polvara because he just looked like kind of like.
I don't think he looks great this season.
But he scored. I mean, think about what he was last season, or what he was like. Was it even last season he joined the season before? He just kind of like this project that they were just insisting was going to be any good, and you just
footballer from New York.
Yeah, and you just thought, nah,
Dante.
this guy's not going to do anything. And he's big as well, and he kind of like ungainly, doesn't look particularly agile. So you kind of like, this guy can't play at all. But this season he has. I'm with you, Amy. I still don't quite get it. But he scored 2 big goals in European football, so that's certainly an improvement.
They're out.
I know why, but still.
They're out. I actually thought you were going to say Jamie McGrath.
No, because he was actually one of the better Dundee United players last year.
People said that about Levitt. I think he was part of getting relegated, but McGrath, mate, isn't he the worst shout because he might be more for if we were doing like a best signing. McGrath's starting to morph into that.
Yeah,
and like
I'm surprised you're saying Polvara. I just need.
It's just,
I need to see.
Again,
definitely improved.
It's the Tavares thing as well when the bar's so low that if they do anything,
I bring Matt O'Reilly at the table, and you're bringing Jair Tavares.
You're bringing one of the best players in the league already, and saying he's the most improved.
Yeah,
but that little dink against Pauk, that was delicious.
That was.
And he ran and he had a lot.
He ran.
He's like Forrest Gump.
Athlete runs. They still got eliminated.
Yeah, they did. But I mean, that's not his fault. Well, partly.
Well,
but we're not doing best signing. We're doing most fun addition to the league.
I know mine's.
I wonder who you're going to say.
I knew who Tony says. He's the first person on my long list just because I knew you were going to say.
Yeah.
Go for it then.
Oh, big Rubizek.
Yeah.
For Aberdeen. I mean, people will be like screwing their face up because we don't want people to get hurt. The guy he's quite good at times. He's also like quite dumb in his movements sometimes. And then he smashes into people. He's absolutely mad to watch.
I think somebody said it in the group chat the other day. But he does not have anything between the legs. Like, he does not have a brain cell. I think...
And that is not a good addition.
I think, maybe Mikey Stewart said he's got no peripheral vision. And you're like, see, it's a guy who's like running for a header and as a defender, peripheral vision, pretty important. Quite a big, well, I don't know why you're nodding. You've never got vision. Never mind peripheral vision.
Exactly.
But I just think he's an...
Stop flagging me off, Tony.
That's quite mean. He's just been calling him my granddad because he couldn't like get his phone open. But no, I think he is an absolute nut job.
Yeah, I mean when you add someone who's that aggressive with not having much between his ears, it's like the most dangerous.
He should be a really good
and it's also as well because he doesn't have much football ability, so he has to fall back on the fact that he just charges around going mental.
You look at him, it's sort of like we were saying with like Slammers sort of going like, oh, he looks a number 10. If you have to draw a centre half, right?
God,
because remember like growing up my uncles always said like
Eastern European,
exactly. I just want like a big hairy arse centre defender. Hairy arse centre defender, and he just can't do anything.
But he doesn't look like he's got any hair on him at all.
No,
his face looks like he doesn't shave.
I think he does a Scott Brown. I think it's all fake. I think he's probably got like a luscious locks.
He's mad to watch, and it is dangerous. And I know some people will be like, I don't like this because he's going to hurt someone. He will.
He has.
Kyogo can't go on international duty and said he can't even remember the tackle. He elbowed you in the face and got away with that. Yeah. Where he just ran out for centre half, pointed an elbow like that.
Done it in Europe last week against Pauk as well, didn't he? There was one. I think he only got a yellow again, but it's just like I get that if you're a manager, you're probably going, oh, there's a bit that's good because he's just wiping everybody clean out. But like, don't do it quite so literally. Like actually going, whoa! Like
he just looked like a big henchman. He like Lenny from The Mice and Men. if Amy's on the sidelines about to do an interview in the top flight and he's been man of the match.
Oh, I'm just not doing it.
And he gives you a cuddle. He will crush you and you will die.
Wonder if he'll come to my funeral.
I'll come along. I
meant him, but
Well, it's like, oh, yeah, I think my old husband cool.
It's a shame she got killed by Rubizik.
You just stay at home with your phone.
Tom Watt's just coming to get an autograph.
But he's a fun addition.
Get beside his baseball cap.
He's a fun addition because it's, as you said, with the combination of not looking too bright, not having loads of football ability, but being outrageously aggressive. In the world of Scottish football, it's a throwback and it's a good laugh.
Like even like
Till someone gets hurt.
when like Willie Miller's sort of going, oh, you know, he really needs to somebody needs to rein him in. Wow, okay, somebody needs to rein him in.
Yeah, guys, for the 80s.
Exactly. Whoa.
Yeah, but aye. He looks like he's in fucking Street Fighter or something.
I would say go back to each of your teams as well for players who have been quite fun.
I was going to.
Celtic won, certainly one from Celtic.
I was going to go.
A hat-trick of assists at the weekend. And rocking the braces.
Yeah, I was going to. That was my input to this one was Louis Palmer, because I don't think anyone really could have envisaged. And I'm not saying he's like a like for like, but there's not been too many people this season who have had to go, oh, remember Jota. And I thought that, right, okay, this is going to be a really, really massive miss, because I think Jota was honestly one of the greatest flair players we've had in the league for fuck knows how long. But Palmer has managed to. Jota who? I think like he's got an
I think he's going through that inside the
I think he is as well. I don't know, when you're just looking at the stacks of cash, so maybe it's okay.
Get over it.
It's a little bit easier. But no, he's an absolute gem of a player, and I think he's been an unbelievable pickup.
I didn't fancy him at the start.
No, Tony, neither did I. I thought about like, where have we got this?
I called it.
Did you?
No, I called it.
Did you?
No.
I had to look at my Westgate. I like the look of him.
And he's no...
YouTube reels look great, mate.
He's...
Westgate's more than that, Amy.
We have to tell us that because we pay for it.
Exactly.
This is what the lovely Patreon subscribers give us.
Thanks, guys.
Access to more than just highlight reels. So you also see, them making 5-yard passes that are just pointless. You're like, skip this one.
I was on Westgate earlier because I thought we were going to be doing best signing. And I was looking at Trevor Carson, and they had something called exits for goalkeepers. And so that they forget. And then I watched the videos of what they are, and it's just him coming out and catching the ball.
Routine save.
Yeah.
Routine save.
Just like cross coming out, and he's going like that.
Exits.
I'm like, can we not just call that catching?
Being a goalkeeper.
But I think Palmer's just so much fun to watch.
That outside of the foot cross.
Oh my God.
Was absolutely
outrageous. Absolutely outrageous.
What I do worry about Palmer is he strikes me as someone who could get figured out in the mould of Sinclair.
Like, it might just be a one-season wonder.
Not just one.
Sinclair was at the twilight of his career.
Because he's not got loads of pace, he's always going to have to come inside, and it's all about technicals. I think you could double up on him and you could stop him.
When we done one-season wonders, we could have done Scott Sinclair.
Why didn't we do that?
Yeah. I suppose it was alright his second season.
Yeah.
But nothing was compared to that first season, but he was he was terrifying. It was actually...
Stefan Johansson.
He was one of those players...
Oh, wow.
That's who I brought.
Yeah, he was...
that is our one-season wonder.
Pinnacle.
Not just for Celtic, just in his
And
career.
But yeah, Sinclair in that first season was just like... It was one of those players that when you're at the game, you're not following him the entire time, but you know where he is the entire time because you're that fearful of what he's going to do.
That is you having peripheral vision, unlike Slobodan Rubizic.
Well, usually at Tynecastle,
Think about what Rubizic would have done to Sinclair.
Whoa!
Usually at Tynecastle, it's not very hot, so I can wear my glasses because I don't steam up all the time.
Quite.
And here's a bit different.
I just try to make it nice and warm for you coming over.
I appreciate it, Tony. Cost living crisis.
It would have been fine if I'd actually turned up just wearing a t-shirt, but I turned up wearing a hoodie, and there's nothing underneath the hoodie.
Oh, God.
So it's now just... It's very hot in this room with a hoodie on.
Wow.
Sorry.
Moving on.
Everybody needs a minute.
Get it off.
Your glasses.
One day, as I said, I've got my ring light over there. I've said on numerous pods that I'm just going to start me topless rating different types of fast food and filming it. New burgers at McDonald's, the new menu. Yep, we got it here. Don't worry. I wonder how many subscribers I get to that.
Yeah, exactly. A TikTok sensation.
Just pickles rolling down there. But oh, yeah.
One potential Hibs player to mention. Another player who maybe you could say didn't really see it coming, especially because he's like 47.
Well, Adam Lafondre.
Yeah, injured right now, but he's been a fun player to watch.
He's good because he's...
Not as fun as his Twitter, though.
I've never.
He likes how he go. He's quite active. I appreciate any. I think there's a trend going around now, isn't there? That it's like, I remember footballers before social media management days. I still think that Adam Lafondra lives in no social media management days, and just I like anyone who interacts.
He's just a bit.
It's probably because he went to Australia. Well, everybody was getting taught that.
Exactly.
He does strike me when I've seen the little bits of his Twitter that as a man who likes football and only football.
Yeah.
It's a man who plays football all day, goes home and plays FIFA.
Like, thank God he can't play football. If not, where would he be?
Yeah, goes home and plays FIFA, and then at night when he's in bed, he's playing Football Manager. That's Adam
That's
Lafondre.
many people's dreams.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah, but that's definitely who Adam Lafondre. But it's because he's quite he's quite technical with the wee flicks and stuff.
Yes,
and his assists, the one he done against.
I really, to me, the thing that really stands out about him is his movement.
Aye, and that assist he done against St Johnstone for Venti with a little flick, and the cross for Venti's header against Lucerne. That was when he done the back heel over. I was like, fucking hell, he's brilliant. Thank God. Everyone thought he was going to shit. This guy's actually absolutely brilliant. No one else would have done that.
I think you've just got that like knack, haven't you? You've either got it or you've not. And
when you just see things, and you know you're willing to, like that ball's going behind me. I'm just going to do that. Most players would be like, that ball's away.
I've got 2 Dundee players to briefly mention. Amadou Bakayoko. He's a lot of fun. He's just my favourite type of striker. Really, it's just a guy who is just awkward and just makes the ball stick.
Quite raw.
Yeah.
You see him getting better and better, though.
Oh, yeah, he was very good at the weekend. Although Zach Rudden played well as well. So
he did. I thought that was one of Zach Rudden's better performances in the Premiership.
I think Rudden's getting
I don't just mean with Dundee. I think like that's probably the best I've seen Zach Rudden at this level.
I said this when we done that podcast again, that I'm starting to see why managers are into Rudden. I'm starting to see it every time I'm seeing it. He's still not putting it all together, but I think if they keep on working on him, I think there is a decent player.
I still remain to be convinced by Zach Rudden, but Bakayoko, big fan, and Owen Beck as well.
Yeah, I mean, you're a big Becky man.
Yes, he's not been quite as fun as he was in the first couple of months recently. I think teams are just getting wise to what he does. But he'll make an adjustment and he'll be flying again anytime soon.
It's about the team making a bit of an adjustment, and I think they're getting to that stage as well because other players are starting to look dangerous, so they'll not be able to just focus on Owen Beck. But in the start, I think that's what teams worked out. They could just keep as their main attacking outlet for the left-hand side.
I just realised before we moved on to this category, I promised the Mirren fans to discuss 3 other players, and I completely forgot. So just throwing out, going back to most improved.
Fun.
Michael Mandron.
Yes.
Hopeless and Motherwell been actually pretty decent for St Mirren. Richard Taylor has been excellent. Not at the weekend, though. He was awful and deservedly taken off half-time.
I think that's why we probably didn't think of St Mirren right now, is because that was...
Well, their form's starting to dip now.
And Toyose Olasanya, who was similar to Vare's kind of competition winner levels of crapness. And he's tailed off a bit recently as well, but it's still he's still somebody that comes on and does something, and that's certainly more than he did whenever he came on for St Mirren last season.
A surprise package.
But before we move on for the current category we were talking about, who are we going to give it to for the most fun new addition to the league?
Who was it?
Yeah, it's like a proper Scottish football centre half.
Exactly,
but
it's good
violent,
but even more mental.
It's a good laugh, innit?
Well, we've got a violent man just turned up. Brilliant. From Serbia. Great.
Right, who has been the most space jammed? That has mean they have lost their powers compared to last season.
It's easy, Duke.
Well, yeah, I'm happy to go with that.
Also, Leighton Clarkson.
He could have
not
been,
as much as Duke.
He could have been incited to be really concerned about it as well.
Yeah, because I mean,
now that it's permanent, you're sort of like, oh.
I mean, he was absolutely brilliant. The second half of last season, he was absolutely tremendous.
Yes.
Now he's on the bench sometimes. He's
deservedly so,
and he's maybe like, and they may not admit it yet, but he might be the most expensive signing ever. I know it's all been undisclosed, but I get a feeling, adding everything, the times about it, who he is, where he was coming from, his age, and what he done last season.
All right, you're talking about Clarkson.
Yeah.
I thought you were talking about
No.
So did that. I'm sort of going...
It's like, I'm pretty sure Aberdeen signed him last season.
Yeah. But Leighton Clarkson,
Sorry.
But just the timing, how well he done last season, his age, where he's come from, and the types of clubs who probably would have been able to take
it was a massive...
I did ask it to fair how much he was signed for, and I was told, like, it was replied to me on Twitter that it was about 300,000, but then there was some people saying, like, bollocks.
Absolute bollocks. If it was 300 grand, everyone is... Hibs and Hearts would have been putting in bids for him at that, for the performances last season. And teams down south, for 300 grand, they spent 300 grand on apps people who don't like. Down south. There's like that. No fucking way did Leighton Clarkson cost 300 grand.
Are you okay?
That's just what they're saying now. Well, he's on the bench. It'll be 200 grand next week.
I still think he's got the...
He's good.
Yeah, he looks a bit miscast this season. whereas Duke just looks.
Can't be arsed.
Aye,
Should have
look.
been, let me go.
Look, aye, but at the same time, there wasn't really. I don't know, maybe if it's just because it's the northeast and it's not like the Daily Record sun patch to get these stories on players who are unhappy or agents pestering them all the time saying, I've got a story for you, this player wants away. But you never heard anything about Duke wanting to go. But he really looks like a player who wanted to leave.
No.
Aye, Willie Miller said he was more than happy. No, I don't know. But no, he probably does. But no, I think it's been a mad drop-off.
So we've only had one good moment really for Duke, and that was that class assist when he humped St Johnstone 4-0 when he was on the ground.
Aye, 2 goals, 2 assists, I think, this season. Is that right? It's 2 goals, 2 assists.
In the half of them were in that game.
Yeah, exactly. Which was that was an incredible assist. But
and that was like, I thought, right,
he's back. He's back
because he was shit at the start last season as well.
But I think, like you were saying, Clark's
on
the
the
bench deservedly. Duke on the bench deservedly.
It was just kind of a slow start from a new signing last year. He was mainly brought off the bench as he kind of got acclimatised, and then once he started, I think it was when that double against Hearts. That was October. And then he really hit the ground running. And at the start of this year, I thought, maybe he's just a slow starter. But that's now a month on from when he really hit the ground last year, and he's not done it yet.
Can't be bothered.
Did score against Pauk, though, so...
He did.
They're eliminated!
That's still... Scoring away to Pauk is impressive. From a guy who supports the team that gets pumped.
Mauled.
And it was quite good, the touch and turn.
Yes, so maybe he's on the way back.
Hopefully. Not hopefully, because I don't want Aberdeen to do well.
No, yeah,
no.
Because it directly affects me.
I hope him and the rest of his teammates are awful from now until the end of the season, and they're relegated.
When I take my Hibs hat off and I put my Terrace hat on, I would like Duke to be good because he was brilliant value last season.
Very good fun.
And it's like those styles of players are getting eliminated as well.
My other shout, I know I brought.
Actually, sorry, before we move on for Aberdeen, Angus MacDonald.
Very fair. I just don't think he's been given a fair shot this year, though.
Well, it was terrible to start the season, but I have heard he was carrying an injury at the start of the campaign, and then he was rubbish and got dropped and hasn't been able to fight his way back.
I know he played in like
and they signed 3 centre halves, didn't they?
Yeah,
in the summer.
Yeah.
They signed like 5 centre halves.
Yeah, so I mean when you start off shit, you're done. Really,
that's a good shout.
They were trying to replace you anyway.
Although I don't know if they signed Gutterman because he was that bad to begin the campaign. Because Gutterman was a late signing, and he was their 5th signing as a centre half.
I'd still bring back Angus MacDonald. I don't want to say this, it's with a heavy heart, but I think to a degree of being Space Jammed is probably Greg Taylor. And I am in the GT3 fan club.
I didn't think about him, but I thought that's too harsh.
It is harsh, but I feel I don't want to make it sound like I'm just so pro-Celtic. Obviously
I am. The players as well.
Yeah, of course. Watch me through my gritty teeth. No, but GT3 last season would never just been subbed like he was at the weekend to bring in Bernabei from the bloody cold. Like, what was that all about? I would love to ask Brendan Rodgers that, but he's not our biggest friend right now. So I just think there has been an evident drop off, but it is because it's a totally different system and the defender is having to defend more in Brendan Rodgers' system, and that doesn't suit Greg Taylor as much.
He took to the stuff.
He loves being
duck with water. He really enjoyed that.
Hanging about penalty spot. I swear I want to be mate.
Nice.
He doesn't actually want to defend, and I really really like Greg Taylor, and I still do think that.
Do you think that means that someone down south might fancy a bit of Greg Taylor as the inverted fullback becomes more and more in vogue?
Potentially, because I think he is very good at that.
In Europe who can go, well, I've actually got
ready-made.
Yeah.
Talking about a YouTube reel, I'll show you mine. And I think you could do that. I do feel for him, I really do. Because I really do like him, but I remember there was...
if you go on Y-Scale, it'll be called Inversions.
Inversions, yes.
8 inversions.
Collections, inversions.
It needs to be a name less obvious than that.
Far too obvious. But it was ridiculous. It was that wee spell that Bernabei was actually getting starts, and I remember genuinely fighting with my brother because he's like, no, Bernabei's better. I'm like, what the fuck are you drinking, mate?
Oh, I mind you about this to be last
I'm pretty sure
season.
I maybe even came in the group chat in such fury. More so I could sort of go to him, look, everyone else thinks you're a twat. Because this is just one of your...
Those are the instant great.
I know, I don't think it was the greatest sort of argument. I don't think... He wasn't quaking in his boots.
Those fucking middle-aged men disagree, did they?
It wasn't my strongest case. But he's still far better than Bernabei, obviously.
Yeah.
Obviously. But I do think he has slipped in standard.
I think that's a really fair one that I didn't think of.
A name I'm surprised has not come up yet. Joel Newbley.
Oh, the Noobs. Sad. Very sad.
I think you could just say Livingston.
Because he's just, but he just doesn't really do anything. He's not even fun. Before they used to do like some of the build-up
He
and then
was fun.
fail at the end. But that was fun to watch.
Yeah.
Now it's just like a man who, as I said, totally
He was
neutered by...
like, last year he was like the best player in the league until it went to shoot. And now he's just not
I
any
had
good.
a chance at Dundee last week from literally like 2-3 yards out. It was a really cute angle and it would have been on the volley. But I think it might still be coming down now. And even like Martindale said after, it was like, we need to, big noobs, needs to be better at that. Well, he's a fucking striker, mate. Like, if he's not doing that.
You were trying to sell him for £1 million. Mr. Martindale.
Oh, funny.
That would have been the most crooked thing he's ever done.
No comments all around to that one.
Is that allowed to go on it?
Yeah, I'll keep it in. I'll keep it in.
It's a wee joke. I
That's
love
a wee
David
joke.
Martindale.
Yeah, hi.
But the
I
new
love David Martin. Please don't.
but the thing
You
is,
said where he lives at the start of the show. That's why he's right.
if he
Knock
does
on
every
the door.
single podcast.
Fowler's not coming round tonight.
Well, he goes on Rangers podcast, so it's a really dangerous territory here.
But with Newbley and Duke, are we getting into the territory of one season wonders?
Oh, I don't think Newbley would be
Be a season and a half.
season and a half.
Yeah.
18-month wonder.
Well,
That's
18-month
that old
wonder.
saying.
That old saying, Tory, come on. Duke, potentially.
The old pint and a half wonder.
Duke is certainly, the potential's certainly there at this point in time. No doubt
good
about
shout.
it. No doubt about it. Right, let me just have a wee quick glance, see if I've got anybody else down on this one. I remember I had Shamal George. He's not had a great start.
Jamal
to the
George was
season.
quite good last season.
Yeah.
No, but he's been struggling with injuries.
Is that right?
He has been injuries,
Has,
so...
yeah.
So who's the alternative at Livingston?
Jack Hamill.
Jack Cam- right,
Who
okay.
started the last few games other than the Rangers game.
Oh, I can
He was
see
at
why.
Hearts and Dundee.
Shoving injections into George non-stop. Like
Come
pinhead.
back, come back.
Comes out like
Hey, Jack Hamilton played really well against Hearts. I think.
He did. He
comes
did.
out like the crack fox in the Mighty Bush. Injections everywhere.
Oh, God.
He's kind of got a similar cheeky chappy smile to the crack fox.
Yeah.
Sorry, who was I going to throw it again? I've just forgotten.
No, you said George.
Pinhead analogy.
Dan Casey.
Dan Casey,
Yeah.
Motherwell.
My dad was saying he was good against Hearts, so what he said. But my dad said a lot.
He also maybe should have given away a penalty.
Well,
I was about to say, my dad doesn't drink, so you'd think his opinion would be good, but it's not.
there was a lot made of Dan Casey last year, rightly so. But I think that's
People like
more.
the chest thump, boy.
They do. I really liked Dan Casey last year. I like absolutely loved them. And I think again, I think that's more just that regression of Motherwell.
Yeah,
I think
it's going to be hard to be good.
singling out one guy's.
Yeah, it's going to be hard to be good.
I found
as
this category really hard because I just think like the standard of the league this year is like a lot weaker, and I think like that's
So
why
everybody.
We say
Aye.
that. I think I get a few more saying that every year.
Yeah, we are.
And I'm thinking when I'm starting to move away from that. Like I was thinking about the telly or on here. How long till I can actually just call a spade and say it's all shit? Because
It is all shit.
It's taken
It's-
away from what
it's not-
obviously what we're meant to do and what
Exactly.
our ethos would be is talk it all
Promote
up.
it.
But we're
So,
really, it's getting harder and harder.
What our ethos was is that Scottish football is better than you think it is. Our ethos could change to Scottish football is worse than you think it is.
Yeah, even the English guys in the pub, Scottish football's worse than you think it is.
But it is. But the whole point as well is that it's our football.
Aye.
Yeah,
It's like
exactly.
we champion our football. If you're a proper football fan, you should
So
like the
quick,
football in your
get to-
backyard. The games that you can go to, not the shit that you watch
get
on
to
the
the
telly.
good category then. Get to the good category.
Well, we're
Spend 1 minute.
I know
on
that's
it.
quickly. Oh, we still got
Bloody
another.
love
We've
Scottish
still got
football.
another one.
give it to Duke.
Oh yeah.
Right, cool.
It's got
Right,
to do
okay.
it.
So the last category is the most Scottish football moment so far this season.
Oh, it all been shit.
I did actually. Do you know what? I'm going to quickly do this because we don't have really much time. But I actually was thinking about this. I think it was like first thing this morning. I was thinking about this.
Oh God.
This is how much that I think about Scottish football. When I'm just in my bed, I'm yet to get out and start the day or whatever.
It's your
But
entire life, Fowler.
yes. So unfortunately, so the Celtic.
Well.
The Celtic and Rangers are showing that they're nothing in Europe. So, but I don't know. It's hard to tell that because barely anybody's won a Champions League game in
Maybe we
the
could,
last decade.
Let's maybe get that doing it at Connor Gold's back pass.
So,
That's
Hearts, Hibs and Aberdeen should be better than they are because they're all spending a lot of money, but they've all got managers with big question marks over them, so none of them are any good this season. You've got two teams that I think are good for the level you expect them to be, and that's Kilmarnock and St Mirren.
Yes.
Everyone else is dreadful.
Or
Motherwell,
underperforming.
Motherwell are dreadful. Ross County are dreadful. Livingston are dreadful.
St Johnstone, who've not
St.
lost
Johnstone.
4 games or something.
Still dreadful.
Still dreadful there.
The Levine effect.
Yeah.
And I think I've missed a team, but that gives you an overall
idea of the dreadful.
I do actually, because it was somebody, I can't remember if it was you, I think it was maybe somebody else said the league's terrible this season. I was like, we say this every year now, and it's just like boring, like, oh, the league's terrible. I think in some of the previous seasons, I would have disagreed with you. I think this year it is legitimately bad.
I think there is like a noticeable
decline,
yeah. And I think it's because Ange Postecoglou's left.
So anyway, what we're going for the most Scottish football moment?
The one that I like, so that's like your ultimate, like your favourite moment, isn't it?
I was going for like what's the most quintessential.
So
Scottish
I think is like Motherwell pitch invasion coming on to celebrate. They've got an equaliser against Celtic. No, you didn't. That to me is like that doesn't happen anywhere else.
And that's very modern day Scottish football because Celtic always fucking do it.
Yeah. Learn your lessons. Be better. Be smarter.
We need to have a laugh.
Be smarter.
Give me a second.
That is up there for me, and so too. And it's slightly different because it was a Viaplay Cup, but Martin Boyle injuring himself while he slid another slow goal.
And then coming back and setting up the goal. Finally win a football match. I was thinking the more quintessential one, and I think it was people practically attacking players when it's still barely the season started, with Dundee United fans at Spartans and Hibs fans in Andorra. I think Hibs fans in Andorra, before the ball's even been kicked, we've been embarrassed in Europe. A Scottish team been embarrassed in Europe, and the fans are apoplectic at the club and the manager, and it's June or something. It's like it's already happened. That was so Scottish football because it happens every season.
You weren't there, were you?
No, I didn't go to Andorra, thankfully.
No.
So I'll say the reason people got so angry is because
it costs
a fortune.
Because it costs a fortune.
Yeah.
You think you're going because you'll probably get good access to the players as probably part of it. It's going to be so. You'll go somewhere you probably wouldn't go again, and it is meant to be quite nice. And you get to go to a cool ground.
And you'll surely
and
win.
it's a guaranteed win when you go away on all this. So I can see that's the people that win. So no, like they were not really boiling over Hibs overall. It's because they've spent all that and it's been taken away from them, and they're actually there for what Hibs possibly worst ever result. Possibly.
I had Brad Lyons goal for Kilmarnock against St Mirren.
Yeah. Good one.
It's a good shout.
It's just...
That is a good shout.
Really hard worked into the net.
Yes, it's no skill, all hard work. He blocks I can't remember which, is it Alex Gogic? It might be Gogic. He blocks the clearance out. It's just 2 touches. He just sprints, just running daft around the midfield, chasing after the ball, like a dog chasing after
a ball.
A ball, or a postman, or whatever the hell you want.
Right.
I just didn't want to say ball.
No postmen were hurt in that analogy.
I didn't want to say ball twice. So yeah, he's like a dog chasing after the ball, and then he blocks the first clearance, and the ball spins miles up in the air. God knows what Zach Hemming is doing at that point, because he should not be out-jumped by Brad Lyons, but he is. So Brad Lyons scores a goal by running very hard, blocking one ball, and then heading another over a goalkeeper into an empty net. Just
tremendous.
It was
a cracker. That's a very good shout. It's a very good shout.
And also the backup one I had was the Elgin City director withdrawing his money because he was told to stick his funded up his arse.
By mistake.
And now Elgin have been through 2 managers already this season. They're now off the bottom of the table though, thanks to beating Bonnyrigg Rose.
Thanks very much for listening.
You're going to see the Rose at the weekend?
Oh, it's genuinely as I think like whoever loses could probably.
Oh, it's an El Sacchio. Sorry, everyone.
I don't want to say that. I hope Robbie does have credit in the bank, but that was a dreadful result against Elgin, and Forfar drew with Clyde. Even we beat Clyde.
I think Ray McKinnon's in more trouble.
Ray McKinnon is in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, well, we were talking about like where does Ray McKinnon go from here? I mean, the fall is
it's astronomical,
mental. Like
I really do think
the
he could be
league.
out. I think if Rose get their act together, I really do think that he could be out, and I actually would quite like it to happen at Rose.
Do you think they would give Ray McKinnon the Rose job, even though he's been done quite bad there, just because of the name?
I would be selling a Bonnyrigg Rose season ticket then.
Do you know,
not having Ray McKinnon in charge of my club.
No, but you can see, I could just picture one of the clubs doing that because Ray McKinnon's a bit of a bigger name, and they're trying to
No.
grow.
No.
Clubs do that.
He probably
No.
will get, like, I remember, I think they talked
Clubs
about this
do
in a podcast recently where they were saying, like, is he going to have to go through the low and league fee? Was it you and Sean talking about that, actually? I think he will get another job around about League 1 or League 2 level.
Oh,
just
he'll
because
get
of his
another
name.
job.
But, I don't
Yeah,
I don't
it's
know if
the
it'll
old
be
boys
better.
act, but he's not getting a
in
job
one
above
of
the
those types
grows.
of clubs that are try and coming and they're solidifying and they're growing. I just think they're the ones that make those types of mistakes because they want
We
to be
would-
seen
no.
to be having.
No, we wouldn't.
We wouldn't.
We wouldn't. No, we have better morals than that.
Right, I think that'll do us. Thank you very much, Amy.
Thank you, Craig.
Thank you very much, Tony.
My pleasure, Craig.
And thank you to everyone for listening. We'll be back on Monday with another main show, but if you can't wait that long, then of course there is a Patreon, which I mentioned earlier on, patreon.com/Terrace Podcast. You can get thousands upon thousands of hours of bonus exclusive content only for £5 per month. So come on, what are you waiting for? Sign up.
It's really sad that we didn't film these right at the beginning. I'd love to see how the change from me doing it in your room at like 23 or something years old to now. Would have been fun to see.
We were that young? No, we're a bit older than that.
24?
So it was 2012, so we're 26.
Was it with that? Was that?
Yeah,
Dude,
26.
So it's been a decade.
I was just about to... I know, we're right. We're both 25, about to turn 26.
Had to been 11.
Right, that'll do us. Thank you very much. Goodbye.
And then we inspired you to become a broadcaster.
Like when you fill all those things out, it's like, who's your inspiration? Tony Anderson. The Terrace.
Simon Furnival.